On the Range podcast with Rick Hogg and Mark Kelley.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Range podcast with Warhawk Tactical and Kelley Defense. I am Mark Kelley from KelleyDefense.com, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host and friend, Rick Hogg from Warhawk.com. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, it's going great. Big shout out to Recoil Magazine. We are here at CanCon 2025. We couldn't do it without you, so appreciate the invite, guys. Super excited about today's guest. So we've got Jeff from Master FFL. He's going to get into what Master FFL has going on, and super excited to have you on. So welcome.
Man, thanks for having me.
Welcome.
What a pretty day down in South Carolina.
It's beautiful,
today,
isn't
too.
It's beautiful.
Mid-70s and dry. Couldn't be a better day for it. Yeah, man, Jeff Bridges, Master FFL, coming up from Atlanta, Georgia. So just a couple-hour drive for us. I know a lot of people came in from long ways away.
Yeah.
But impressive. My first time here. I met the guys at Recoil. I guess it was in Knoxville at the Goals show.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I had heard about it and just kind of talked a little bit. He said, why don't you come on out? A lot of our customers are here, so, good to kind of get out. But I'll tell you a little bit about the company and what we do. A little bit different being a software company out at a range day like this. But we've got some software called Master FFL, and we target and work with retailers and also manufacturers who sell firearms online. And we handle everything from FFL checkout all the way through a full compliance suite. We don't do Form 3s. We're not a bound book. We don't do any of that.
Yeah.
But in terms of, determining which dealers you want to present to your customers at checkout to pick, our manufacturer can say, I don't want to show residential dealers or dealers with bad ratings and reviews or whatever it might be. So they can curate a list of dealers to present. And then we also have a lot of good information about those dealers, right? So a consumer can look at that and say, not only is it near me, but I know that it's somebody's house versus a shooting range. I know what the transfer fees are. I know a lot about them, which makes a lot of the consumers more apt to actually check out and purchase the firearm, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of these. Is this just your grand idea, or someone else come up with it?
It's kind of a long story. I've been in guns. I grew up shooting 22s and squirrel hunting and that kind of thing, but bought my first real gun in 2014. I bought some ammo online, and the owner of the company called me and asked me if I got my order. And I said, yeah, man, I got it. He's like, oh, okay, just checking. I said, Pete, do you call all your customers? He's like, oh, no, man, our website's tough. We don't have tracking numbers. It was just a mess. And I said, I can help you out. So I went over and Lehigh Defense back in 2014, built a website for them. They sold off and started a few other companies, and one of them was going to sell a serialized lower online. And so they said, hey, we need an FFL checkout for our shopping cart. And I said, all right, give me a couple of weeks. I'll go build you one. And I came back and I go, guys, this is a problem.
Yeah. Right.
So there's a lot of them out there. They all rely on the ATF data, which is great, except it's not very telling.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got name, address, and phone number. But imagine going in and buying a bottle of wine, and all you got was name, address of the vineyard, and whatever, right? People buy when they're comfortable. So NSSF has a stat. It's from 2023, I think, so it's a couple years old, but 45% of online purchases are made by first-time buyers.
Wow.
So these guys, they don't know what an FFL is in a lot of cases,
Yeah.
right? So they get to this checkout screen, they're ready to pay, and you put a list of addresses in front of them to pick from. So without giving them a lot of context, what we've learned is the customers are bouncing because they're leaving the cart to go Google FFL dealer near me to find out what's the difference between this one and this one. And when they bounce off the site, they don't always come back.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that interesting, though? It takes someone like yourself who has nothing to really do with the firearms industry to come up with, to notice the problem and then come up with a solution.
Yep.
Now, was that happening to all these distributors and all these guys that are bouncing and losing customers like that?
Yeah, so it was mainly retailers and then manufacturers that sell direct online.
Okay.
The distributors have largely got this problem solved. I mean, they've been, they have to have the licenses on file.
Yeah.
They've got to have the SOTs before they can ship. So that's the lifeblood of their business. I think the challenge is each one of them are building their own internal systems, and it's costing them a fortune.
Yeah.
And so my grandfather actually told me about this when I was telling him about the business early on. He said, oh, you're building an MLS. And I'm like, not a real estate guy, but 30 years ago, real estate companies maintained their own list of properties for sale, and they felt like it was proprietary, and the big ones had their own systems, but everybody was building these things, and so we said, you know what, we're going to go build a database of dealer data. So we take a daily list from the ATF just like everybody else, and then we just enrich it, though, right? So we get, is it a commercial address? Is it a residential address? We get transfer fees. We get email addresses. We get licenses. So we've got over 17,000 FFL licenses on hand, over 3,000 SOTs on hand.
Wow.
And then we sell that as a software as a service to people like, clients here, Huxworks, PTR, ZRO Delta, Rugged, Maxim. So a lot of these guys are using that. Not only for the checkout part, but to automate that compliance. Because think about this, right? So once that customer does make it through checkout, now they've got a compliance person that they're paying $50,000 a year for, who spends all day tracking down that dealer and says, hey, we just got this customer, they bought this product, they want to pick you. They get voicemail, they get disconnected phone number, they don't have an email. They're looking people up on Google too.
Wow.
So our system goes out, contacts the receiving dealer, gets their opt-in status, if you will, and then gets any necessary documents to create the transfer. The cool thing is, we launched this in July of last year, and my first customer, they didn't know they were my first customer until now, probably, but Griffin Armament, some phenomenal good guys, man, up in the Northeast there, and Evan said, I'll buy it, but I need you to make it work for suppressors. And I never really thought about it. Well, the good news was it wasn't a lot of change. It just kind of 80% of what we already had already worked. So now these dealers and these retailers can sell suppressors directly to consumers.
Right.
Yes, it has to go through an SOT or an FFA, but it's really opened up a lot of opportunities for them.
Wow.
Very cool.
So pretty much, you're going to, let's use Griffin. Hey, I go on Griffin, order something from them, go to that checkout. I get to pick whatever kind of FFL is close to me. Now, when I click on that link, does it give me any more information besides?
Yeah. So we tell you, we give you their contact information in case you wanted to reach out to them. We give you all their social media links to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. We give you their hours of operation. We give you their transfer fees. We let you know whether or not we already have a license on file, because if we already have a license on file, that it'll process more quickly.
Right,
so kind of an expedited processing. We give, and then on the back end, the stores have access to the actual licenses themselves, right? So they don't have to go out and get that FFL, because like for an SOT, for example, a tax stamp to deal in NFA items expires every year.
Yeah.
So you're just chasing it, and it helps the local dealers too, right? Because if I'm a local dealer and I want transfers, I got to go to PTR and Huxworks and all these other guys and say, hey, I'm a FFL. Here's my transfer fees. Here's my license. Here's my SOT. And by the time you get done doing that across 400 or 500 retailers, your license is already expired. You got to do it again. So with our system, a local dealer can come in. They provide their license. They provide their transfer fees. They provide all their information. And then everybody that uses our system is using that current data. Right, so it's more of a democratized, shared way of sharing the data. We've been fortunate enough to build a business model that makes it what we feel like is affordable and economical for everybody. Just looking to grow.
Wow. So what's the new product that you would be putting out there now that these folks can buy those suppressors direct? Anything that's going to help that out?
We are launching something pretty new. I think we'll have this ready probably before SHOT Show. So it's really cool. When we talk to distributors, so I was talking to a distributor, and we're trying to tell them how this compliance thing can help, and they're like, man, we've been doing this for 30 years. We've got our own system.
Sure,
and I'm like, but you haven't seen this one. They're like, no, we got it. And I'm like, I really think you ought to look at it. And I'm down in Florida at a show, and there's a young sales guy there, and he goes, oh, can I see it? And the senior guy just was like, oh, I guess. And so the guy looks at it, and he goes, oh, my God, can I do this? And can I do this? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, what if I did this? And what if I did this? And he looked at his boss, and he goes, this is what we need.
Yeah.
And the challenge for him was, they came in, he joined the company as a sales rep. And they're like, all right, Scott, you've got North Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. There's your territory. Go.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything. He's in phone books and Google to trying to find dealers. So we're going to be offering a new tool. I don't have a name for it yet. We'll call it a CRM, where you'll be able to go in and use as a prospecting tool. So if you're selling ammo or holsters or whatever, or even firearms manufacturers, you'll be able to go in and say, okay, show me all the dealers in the country, and then filter those out to say, okay, let me see the ones in South Carolina. And then of the ones in South Carolina, let me exclude the ones that have home-based businesses.
Yep.
Right.
Who are the ones that have an SST? Who's the ones that have a shooting range? And so I go from 60,000 to 20,000 to 5,000 to 30, and now I've got 30 targeted segmented accounts that I can go call on. So we'll be bringing that out as soon as we come up with a name for it and figure out how to, segment it out. Right now it's kind of part of the tool. But
That's awesome. Are you going to be at SHOT Show?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think this will be my last show between now and then. We try to get around and support the community as much as we can, as often as we can. So that'll be the big one.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to that company, is it on them to upload their docs? So, hey, like you talked about, the SOT swaps out annually. The FFL swaps out annually. Do you guys have a mechanism to pull that direct from ATF?
Well, so interestingly enough, the ATF will give you the name, address, phone number of the dealer, but there's no public source of the actual SOTs or FFLs. So the only way we can get those is from the dealers themselves.
Okay.
When we first started, we first thought, okay, we'll just go out and try to get them. But it's expensive, right? There's a lot of 70,000 dealers. There's probably 25 to 30,000 dealers that matter in terms of what we're looking for in terms of transfers, to accept transfers. But finding out who those 25,000 are is tricky, and then getting those licenses. So rather than spend a lot of time and effort to go get all these licenses, we have a kind of a just-in-time model. So we have a workflow that after the order is placed, we will automatically contact the receiving dealer and say, hey, you've got this order, they've picked you, but these are the documents that I need. And then if that dealer doesn't respond, or if they opt out, it's kind of cool, they won't show up next time on the checkout.
Oh, okay.
So every day, the system gets a little bit better and better because you're getting people opting out, you're getting more and more licenses. And think about it, if Huxworks sells a product, the dealer uploads an FFL, the dealer uploads an SOT, and then my PTR, my next client, somebody shops on their site, we don't have to do it all again.
Yep.
Because it's all shared.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when those documents expire, and SOTs expire every year, of course, July 1, so kind of a hectic part of our business, right?
Wow.
Because we go to zero.
Yeah.
But rather than try to hoard them and get them, we get them as they're needed. And again, if a dealer opts out or if a dealer doesn't provide one, we go back to the consumer and say, hey, we tried to contact this dealer, we couldn't get one. Pick a new one.
Yeah.
And so, again, we're running right now at about 96% of their transfers happen fully autonomously. And it hit me July 4th. So we're at our house and had friends over. We'd smoked a pig and drink a little beer and just sitting out having a lot of fun. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I went in, and we'd done about 450 orders or so that we had processed that day. And 400 out of the 450, about 440 of them had already processed. And
Nice.
I'm thinking,
wow,
this is cool
because
my customers are out at their pool eating barbecue.
Exactly.
And this stuff is happening on a Saturday and on a Sunday and on Black Saturday, the day after Black Friday. We had a client tell us that their return rates after Black Friday were just insane because they sell a month's worth of supply in a day.
Yeah.
Right? Well, people are saying, hey, man, it's been a week. Have you not shipped my product yet? But they got thousands of these contacts, and they weren't able to do it fast enough. And so people call in and start canceling their orders, right? So we've got scalable compliance. Now, we don't do bound book. We don't do Form 3s. We don't do 4473. So we're not technically compliance. It's more process optimization and, getting things through the door. But a lot of cool things coming. I think just like the CRM, every time we talk to somebody new, they're like, oh, man, this is cool. Could you do this? And then we just add a little bit of feature or a little bit of a new UI. I think the key, and I hope where we're insulated competitively, is just in the dealer data. We've got the most comprehensive database of FFLs in the country, I'm sure.
Wow.
And there's just a lot of cool things that we'll be able to do with that as a foundation. Some of them we don't even know yet.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
How's the response been? So, like, when you reach out to a dealer to go, hey, you've got to order inbound.
Yep.
Have guys been pretty receptive back? I know I know this industry can be sometimes not returning calls, not responding to emails. I'm just curious how your experience has been with that.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I think, again, if I were to call a dealer and just try to babble through who Master FFL was and try to get their license, I think I'd have, this much response. But our responses come from our customers. Yeah. Or at least they look like they do.
Yep.
So they're getting an email from Geisley, from Huxworks, from PTR, and it says, hey, you've been selected. This customer bought this product. They picked you. You've got 2 days. This is a time-sensitive thing. Either take action or not. And if you don't, it's okay. We go back and we. But I think they also recognize that, a lot of these dealers. It's really interesting. a lot of these dealers will spend hundreds of dollars to acquire a customer to get a foot in the door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I don't know, man. Just charge $20 for a transfer and get them in that way too.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to come in. They're going to buy accessories. They're going to buy
Oh,
range
100%.
time.
Yeah.
So I think more and more of them are realizing that if they claim their profile, they give us up-to-date, accurate data, they're going to show up at the top of more of these checkouts. They're going to get more transfers. They're going to get more people in the door, and it just grows the community.
Wow.
Yeah. What have you seen for the average FFL transfer rate?
It's a really good question. So we're launching a new site here in another 45 days, and we're going to have that that data by city and by state.
Okay.
I would say if I had to guess, so we've got about 27,000 transfer fees on file. So we got a pretty good sample set. But you've got handgun transfer fees, you got long gun transfer fees, you got NFA transfer fees, and then people start getting really complicated about Leo military discounts and second one free. But I would say on average, in more conservative states, I would say $30
Okay.
is probably a pretty good average.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good sample size.
Yep. In California, in Washington, 100.
Oh.
100.
Oh, my Lord.
Yep.
Wow.
Some cases even more than that.
That is something.
Kind of crazy. Yep.
Yeah. Well, where can people find you?
MasterFFL.com. SHOT Show, NASGW, and all the NSF events. We try to get out to 5 or 6 events a year, but websites are probably the best way to go to us. We've got contact forms. We'll be launching a new site here. I guess everybody launches new sites all the time.
Yeah, they
right?
do.
But new demo, new marketing material. Again, we started out doing one thing. Next time I talk to you, I think I'll even have something more exciting to talk about as we start to figure out how to bring value. Our transfers now are outbound, right?
Okay.
We got an idea for doing the same thing on the inbound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So all those same types of inefficiencies that you've got sending a firearm out to a dealer, that receiving dealer's got a lot of inefficiencies now between what they've got to do and before they get that transfer fee and they get that gun transferred. So we're going to be kind of building on that audience we've got. We're doing, I don't think we're at 1,000 on an average day. We're doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of transfers. And we've gotten to the point now we go to some of these shows, and I don't think they know us because of our brilliant marketing, but we're sending 1,000 emails a day.
Hey.
So we're starting to get that little bit of brand equity. Look for us around, see us around at the shows, or contact us on our website, and I'd love to talk to anybody that would benefit from good FFL dealer data.
Well, it's a great idea, man, and we haven't really heard anything that comprehensive at all, and it's just fantastic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, we'll
Thank you,
plug
Jeff.
it in on the show notes so folks can check it out. And as always, on OnTheRangePodcast.com for the crew members, the show continues over there, Rick.
Absolutely. And for the rest of you guys, be an athlete, be dangerous, and we'll see you on the range.